Florida looks like paradise. Sunshine, palm trees, warm water, and beaches that stretch for miles. But underneath all that beauty, this state hides something else. Florida has more invasive species, more venomous animals, and more strange creatures per square mile than almost anywhere else in America. Some of them arrived here on their own. Others were dumped by people who got scared and let them go. And now they live in the canals, the marshes, the backyards, and the shallow water where tourists swim. Locals know exactly which ones to avoid. They know which trails not to walk at dusk, which water not to wade into, and which animal you never reach toward, no matter how still it looks. These are 15 of the most dangerous animals hiding in Florida right now. Let's start the countdown. Number 15, the green iguana. Tourists love them. They photograph them sunning on seawalls in Miami and Fort Lauderdale like they're harmless little dinosaurs. They're not native, they're not harmless, and they're everywhere in South Florida. A large male can hit 5 feet from nose to tail and weigh close to 20 pounds. Their claws are built for climbing trees, and they'll shred skin instantly. Their tail works like a whip, and a full swing from a big adult can leave welts, break skin, and crack a dog's nose. They carry salmonella in their droppings, and those droppings end up in pools, on patios, and around playgrounds. Worst of all, when temperatures drop into the 40s, iguanas go stiff and fall out of trees. A 20-pound reptile dropping from 30 feet is a real hazard. Locals in Broward County have had them land on cars, roofs, and people. Number 14, the cane toad. This is the animal that Florida pet owners genuinely fear. Also called the bufo toad, it was brought here decades ago to control sugarcane pests, and it never left. A big one is the size of a dinner plate. Behind its eyes sit 2 swollen glands packed with bufotoxin, a milky poison strong enough to kill a full-grown dog in under 15 minutes. Dogs find them in wet grass after rain, bite down, and the toxin hits the gums and goes straight into the bloodstream. The animal starts drooling, its gums turn brick red, then come the seizures. In humans, the toxin causes burning, vomiting, and irregular heartbeat if it gets into the eyes or mouth. They breed by the thousands in retention ponds and canals during the rainy season. In some Tampa and Palm Beach neighborhoods, residents find hundreds in a single night. Number 13, the kissing bug. It's small, it's brown, it looks like a beetle, and almost nobody in Florida knows it exists. That's what makes it dangerous. This insect feeds on blood at night, and it has a habit of biting near the lips and eyes while people sleep, which is where the name comes from. The bite itself is not the problem. The problem is what the bug leaves behind. After feeding, it defecates on the skin, and its waste can carry a parasite that causes Chagas disease. If that parasite gets rubbed into the bite wound or the eye, it enters the bloodstream. Chagas can sit silently in the body for years, then attack the heart muscle and digestive system. It's a leading cause of heart failure in parts of Latin America. Florida's warm climate and wood piles, dog kennels, and rural cabins give these bugs everything they need. Number 12, the great barracuda. Divers off the Keys see them constantly. A 3 to 6 foot silver torpedo hanging motionless in open water, mouth slightly open, showing a full set of dagger teeth. Barracuda don't hunt people, but they hunt by sight, and they strike at anything that flashes like a wounded fish. A watch, a ring, a shiny dive knife, an ankle bracelet, a bright fishing lure. When a barracuda hits, it doesn't grab and hold. It slashes through at high speed and turns away, and the wound looks like someone took a knife to the limb. Deep parallel gashes, severed tendons, and heavy bleeding. There's a second danger too. Big barracuda accumulate ciguatera toxin in their flesh from the reef fish they eat. Eat one, and you can get months of nerve damage, temperature reversal, and joint pain. Locals in the Keys throw them back. Number 11, the green moray eel. Up to 8 feet long, thick as a man's thigh, and hidden inside almost every reef ledge and wreck from Jupiter down to Key West. Morays aren't aggressive. They spend the day tucked in a hole with only their head sticking out, mouth opening and closing to breathe. The trouble starts when a diver or lobster hunter reaches blindly into a crevice. A moray has poor eyesight and hunts by smell, so a hand entering its den registers as food. The jaws snap shut and lock, and the teeth curve backward, meaning the more you pull, the deeper they sink. Pulling free usually means tearing your own flesh, and every moray bite gets infected because their mouths are loaded with bacteria. Divers in Florida have lost tendons, fingers, and full use of a hand this way. Number 10. The southern stingray. This is the animal that injures more Florida beachgoers every single year than sharks, snakes, and alligators combined. They lie flat on sandy bottoms in inches of water, buried until only their eyes show. You never see one. You step on one. The instant that weight lands on its back, the tail flips up and drives a serrated barb into the foot or ankle. That barb is coated in venom and wrapped in a sheath that tears off inside the wound. The pain is described as immediate and blinding, like a hot nail hammered into the bone. The barb is angled backward, so it rips flesh coming out and often breaks off, leaving fragments inside. Infections are common, and if a stingray is startled in deeper water, that barb can reach the chest or abdomen. That's how they turn fatal. Number 9. The lionfish. Beautiful, striped, feathered, and completely out of place in the Atlantic. Lionfish are native to the Indo-Pacific, but they were released off Florida's coast, and now they've taken over every reef and wreck in the state. A single lionfish carries up to 18 venomous spines along its back, sides, and belly. Sting victims describe it as the worst pain of their life, swelling that spreads up the whole arm, sweating, nausea, difficulty breathing, and in bad cases, temporary paralysis of the limb. The pain can last for days. What makes them worse is behavior. Lionfish don't flee. They hold their ground and turn their spines toward whatever approaches, which means a swimmer or a spear fisherman can drift right into them. And with no natural predators here, their numbers keep climbing on every reef in Florida. Number 8. The Argentine black and white tegu. This lizard was never supposed to be in Florida, and now there are established breeding populations across multiple counties. A full-grown tegu reaches 4 to 5 feet and moves fast on land, faster than most people expect a lizard to move. They have crushing jaws built for eggs and bone, and when cornered, they will stand their ground, hiss, inflate their body, and lash with a heavy muscular tail. Bites have broken fingers and required stitches. They also destroy ecosystems. Tegus raid the nests of gopher tortoises, ground nesting birds, crocodiles, and alligators, eating entire clutches of eggs in one sitting. They eat pet food, chickens, small cats, and anything else they find. In parts of Miami-Dade and Charlotte County, homeowners find them living under sheds and porches. Number 7. The rhesus macaque. Florida has wild monkeys, and most people don't believe it until they see one. They live along the Silver River in Central Florida, descendants of a small group released in the 1930s. Today there are hundreds, and they've spread far beyond the park. These monkeys are strong, fast, territorial, and completely unafraid of people because tourists have fed them for decades. They bare their teeth, charge, and bite. But the real danger is invisible. A significant portion of Florida's free-ranging macaques carry herpes B virus, and they shed it in their saliva, urine, and feces. In humans, herpes B can cause swelling of the brain and spinal cord. Untreated, the fatality rate is extremely high. A single bite, scratch, or splash of saliva in the eye is enough. State officials have warned visitors to keep their distance. Number 6. The dusky pygmy rattlesnake. Forget the giant rattlesnakes for a second. This little snake, usually under 2 feet long, is responsible for more snake bites in Florida than any other species. It's small enough to hide under a single palm frond, a garden hose, or a layer of pine straw. Its rattle is so tiny it sounds like a mosquito buzzing, and most people never hear it. It doesn't flee. It sits, coiled and perfectly camouflaged in gray and rust-colored blotches, and it strikes fast when a bare foot or hand comes close. The venom is hemotoxic. It destroys tissue around the bite, causes severe swelling, internal bleeding, and in some cases permanent damage to fingers and toes. Bites happen constantly in yards, on golf courses, and around mulch beds across the entire state. Number 5. The Nile monitor lizard. Cape Coral has a problem that most of America has never heard of. Nile monitors are African lizards that escape the pet trade, and Florida's canal systems suit them perfectly. They grow to 7 feet. They swim like crocodiles, run fast on land, climb, and dig. Their claws are long and hooked. Their tail delivers a whip strike hard enough to knock a person down, and their jaws are lined with teeth backed by a bite loaded with bacteria. Monitors defend themselves aggressively when cornered, and they've attacked dogs and cats in residential neighborhoods. They also wipe out native wildlife, raiding burrowing owl nests, gopher tortoise burrows, and bird colonies. Residents regularly find them sunning on seawalls or crossing driveways, and animal control gets calls year-round. Number 4. The black-tip shark. Volusia County is known worldwide as the shark bite capital of the planet, and this is the species behind most of it. Every year, tens of thousands of blacktips migrate along Florida's coast, and they hunt in the murky, churned-up water right where the waves break. That's exactly where surfers and swimmers stand. In water like that, a shark can't tell a foot from a mullet. The bite is usually a fast exploratory strike, and the shark leaves immediately. But black-tip teeth are serrated, and a single pass can remove muscle and open arteries. Aerial surveys off Palm Beach have counted thousands of them, cruising within 100 yards of shore, while people swim, completely unaware. Locals who surf New Smyrna Beach know the rule. Never enter the water at dawn, dusk, or when bait fish are running. Number 3. The box jellyfish. Florida's Gulf and Atlantic waters host box jellyfish species that most swimmers have never heard of, including the four-handed box jelly. They are almost invisible in the water. A small transparent cube of a body with long trailing tentacles that can extend well beyond the point where you can see them. Those tentacles are covered in millions of stinging cells that fire on contact, injecting venom instantly. The sting causes immediate searing pain, whip-like red welts, and in severe cases muscle cramps, breathing difficulty, and cardiac problems. Children are especially vulnerable because of their body weight. They arrive in swarms with warm currents, usually in late summer, and lifeguards raise purple flags when they show up. But by the time you feel it, you're already wrapped in tentacles you never saw. Number 2. The tiger shark. If the blacktip is a case of mistaken identity, the tiger shark is the opposite. This is a genuine apex predator that reaches 14 feet and over 1,000 pounds, and it patrols the entire Florida coastline, especially around the Keys, the Gulf Stream edge, and offshore wrecks. Tiger sharks have the least selective diet of any large shark. Sea turtles, dolphins, stingrays, seabirds, and whatever else they find. Their teeth are uniquely shaped to saw through turtle shell and bone, which is why their bites are so catastrophic compared to other species. They come into shallow water at night to hunt, they follow boats, and they investigate anything unfamiliar. Unlike most sharks, they often stay after the first bite. Fishermen in the Keys have watched them circle boats for hours. Number 1. The American crocodile. Everyone thinks Florida's top predator is the alligator. It isn't. Southern Florida is the only place in the United States where American crocodiles live, and they're bigger, faster in water, and far more powerful. Mature males exceed 15 feet and can pass 1,000 pounds. They tolerate salt water, which means they live in mangroves, tidal creeks, marinas, canals, and the shallow flats of Biscayne Bay and the Everglades, often right beside neighborhoods and boat ramps. Their bite force is among the strongest of any animal on Earth, and they hunt by lying completely motionless until something comes within range. They're generally shy of humans, but as their population recovers, encounters keep rising. Kayakers, dog walkers, and swimmers have found them in canals behind houses. That's why locals in the Keys and South Miami simply don't enter dark water at night. Florida is beautiful. It's also one of the most biologically dangerous places in the country, and most of these animals are within a few miles of somewhere people swim, hike, and live every single day. The good news is that almost every incident is preventable. Watch where you step, shuffle your feet in shallow water, never reach into a hole, a bush, or a pile of leaves you can't see into. Keep your dogs leashed near canals and ponds, and stay out of dark water at dawn and dusk. If you found this countdown useful, drop a comment with the animal that surprised you most, and let me know which state you want covered next.